I have to go to a meeting, so I'm doing a short presentation before I go. Sorry for skipping out on you, but it got scheduled weeks ago and I have to be there. And I have a short presentation today because I have less time. And it's the ongoing topic of writing your personal constitution. I gave this for people at Salesforce and Google and Intel the other day under the banner of one of our programs called Success Sadhana. It was yesterday, in fact, 12 noon. And so this project of writing your own personal constitution, got interested in this because now Chaitanya Nityanam, when you see me do this, you can change the slide, but don't do it yet. I maybe mentioned to you my sense of awe and appreciation when I saw the United States Constitution. Does anybody know what city the original Constitution of the United States is displayed in? Keshav, you ought to know. Go ahead. You're in the Federal Witness Protection Program. We can't see your
Hare Krishna
face.
Maharaj.
Hare
So
Krishna.
since I live like an hour away, so it's in Washington D.C. in the Library of Congress.
And rightly so, right? Have you ever been there to see it?
No, Maharaj.
Well, I went. It's hung on the wall. It's under bulletproof glass, and you can see the original document. And what is it? It's an agreement amongst some who decided to frame the ideas that would govern a country. They came up with their best ideas, they put them on paper, they signed it, and it became a document which still guides the process of the American government after many, many years. Without such an agreement written on paper, it's doubtful whether this system of government would have held together for 250 years. My proposition is we should each have our own constitution. You're a country unto itself, in a sense, because your existence in this world as a human being, and especially as devotees, is highly consequential. And if you take a little time to think about your values, your priorities, and your goals, and you also write them down, then you can have a document that guides you. It also can be amended. Was the United States Constitution ever amended? Advaita Chandra shaking his head vigorously. And Madhuri Saki is giving thumbs up. And indeed it has been. There are many amendments to it, and you can amend yours also. So what do you think about the idea just in general? I'll take a few comments. Vivan, you gave a thumbs up. Why do you like the idea? Give me 3 sentences why.
I really like the idea of making a constitution because it ensures that you have a focused track and you're not drifting off to one side or another, and you're able to accomplish all your goals in a timely manner. And I also really like the idea of amending your constitution because your priorities in life might change from time to time as you age, as you have different goals, and as you go into different circumstances. So that amending it can really make sure that you're being most efficient with time.
Well articulated, Vivan. You look like a statesperson yourself. Okay, part. 3 sentences.
So, a personal constitution can help you maximize the goals and help you have a streamlined way of leading your life. And with that, you can have like a place where you could like jot your ideas down and then, like my brother said, amend them, which can really help you to really concentrate on the ideas that you want the most. that really connects with you deeply.
Nicely
And
done, Part. Very good. Okay, Keshav, 3 sentences.
So Maharaj, I just like the idea of a constitution because it's like a flow chart that is filled with your personal values and what you want to get done and how you want to get it done. So that whenever, even if you're like in a difficult situation and you have a problem, you really don't like, you don't really have a clear guide or route to solving it, then your constitution will help you.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because oftentimes things don't go the way we think they should or we're going to go. And if we have a philosophy and we have a guiding document, then we just stick to our process. Very nice. Okay, last one, Arav, 3 sentences.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Shukadev Goswami said that a prolonged life is not as good as one moment of full consciousness. So in that one moment of full consciousness, what we do is we think, and then when we think, we can write down those thoughts, and then those thoughts become what we strive to be. So it's a good idea to write them
That's a
down.
good point. People generally are asked to sign documents or create documents when they're in their right mind. And then later, when they're not in their right mind, maybe disturbed by different circumstances, they can refer to the document. Excellent. Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, first a metaphor. The swan. Now, the swan arguably is the most graceful bird. When you see it on the water, it's eye-catching. I saw some swans recently and I enjoyed watching them glide across the water. And then when they got out and walked on the land, they were extremely awkward. So as I put it here, on the water, effortlessly elegant. On the land, they're shockingly awkward. So why did I include this? Because when we're aligned in Dharma, we have clarity, we have energy, as many of you are pointing out. There's an ease to the way we enact our duties. We have intuition, we have flow. Some examples of what it feels like when we're aligned properly. And this is when we are in our element. Our Dharma means that we're perfectly aligned with our ultimate purpose of life, and then we're graceful. On the other hand, when we're out of alignment, adharmic, we may be confused, restless, self-doubting, clumsy in our decision making and our relationships even, as though we feel as though life isn't fitting right. So I'm giving this example of how there's a perfect alignment for us, but we have to very consciously find that. And when we do that, it's like we return to the water. Returning to the water, the metaphor is returning to or aligning with our purpose. So there's a few questions for you all. And at this point, I'd like to ask if you could secure a piece of paper and a pen. Now, I know you have computers, but I don't want you to write on the computer, on your tree. I want you to get a pen. Now, what is this pen? It's the most powerful of human tools ever invented. Because from this pen, you can manifest what you want in your life. It's like a magic wand. There are thoughts, desires, interests we may have, but how do we bring them into our lives? With the pen. Now, I ask you to write with a pen on a piece of paper because, as Vivan said, the pen is mightier than the sword. Well done, sir. I told you these guys are statespeople. So there's a visceral feeling when you write things by hand on paper, more of a connection to your brain. Plus, you're less likely to get distracted because when you have a screen in front of you, and I don't say don't ever write on a screen, that would be ludicrous in today's day of technology and our dependence on screen. However, for your own purposes in meditating on your constitution, use a pen. Personally, I use Pentel RSVP BK90 fine tip black ink. I also like to use a big pad. There are several ones I use. I use a legal pad, which I don't have with me. Arav, do you have a legal pad with you? They're yellow and they're 8.5
Not
by
at the moment.
okay, 8.5 by 13. It gives a little extra space. Vivon has a pad, but it's 8.5 by 11, not an 8.5 by 13. It's just a little bit longer. Well, look, Madhuri Saki's thinking about becoming an attorney now. That's a legal pad. Hold it up, Madhuri Saki. Now, see, it's a little longer. That's 8.5 by 13, and it's yellow. That's a legal pad. I recommend that. I also recommend this, Bien Fang. It's a mixed media. It's got really big pages, and there's a lot you can write on it. You can also use colored pens. It absorbs nicely. It doesn't bleed through to the other side. It's for thinking on paper and putting your ideas down. So you need a little space, not little scraps of paper, not some small notebook, but something substantial. And there's some psychological advantage to the legal pad because it gives you a sense of you got more you can put down on one page. So do all of you right now have a pen and a piece of paper, even if you don't have a legal pad or whatever I said? Do you have your favorite pen? Anybody have a favorite pen they use? Okay. Sia, what do you like?
Um, there's this, I don't remember the exact one, but there's a Pilot pen. It's not the G2, but all Pilot pens are really good.
Yeah, I just got a box the other day, and I don't mean to be unfaithful to the Pentel company, but I got these. Actually, these are unis, uniball rollers. It's a little bit smaller than this pen. It's easier for me to travel with. So I have traveling pen and I have a home pen. I like pens that don't leak too, because it's really a bummer when you look down and all of a sudden there's ink coming out. Okay. And paper, you got paper. So this is your place where you can create and you can start designing your own constitution for your future. And there's a few questions you can ask yourself. Now, don't start writing yet, but some of the questions that go into the foundational stages of making your constitution are, what do you value? Another one is, what are your priorities? Another is, what's the best investment of your attention in your life? And what feels deeply right, even if challenging. But the main two for now, and I'm going to add one more that we can go into in the next Youth Jam. The first thing I'd like you to try is to write 3 values that you consider very important in your life. Now, if you can look up online Chaitanya Nitai Nam, Brene Brown, she has a list of values. And that way you can kind of take a look at what we mean by values, and you get an idea. They have to, like, I'll give you some samples. Truthfulness is a value, right? And humility, you might value humility, or authenticity. Anushree, name a few more values.
Truthfulness, what else?
Compassion. That's not what you put up. Brene Brown asked for specific that you has for a list of values. Just tell what you want. Go ahead, Anushree, one more. There it is.
Generosity could be one.
Yvonne posted it in the chat box. See if you can put that up on the screen. What did you say, Anushree?
Generosity.
Yeah, definitely a value, right? Anyway, we have the link. You can look at it. There's accountability, altruism, kindness, self-respect, serenity. These are examples of values. What's now? Don't try to get them all right now, but what I would like you to do is to take the next minute and a half and then write down 3 that, and this is not final. It's just to get the pump primed. Put down 3 things, values that you'd like to work on in your life. Like say, if it's truthfulness, that would be something you put down, and that would be an idea that you'd want to work on. So I'm going to start the clock, and you can start going for it.
Battery 100%. Connected to.
Get ready. On your mark, get set, go. You got a minute and a half. Just write down 3 values that appeal to you. Don't make them final. It's just to get started. That was a minute and a half. Just want to, you don't have to say what you put. You can if you want, but I just like to hear what it felt like to look at the list of values. And there are other lists. You can look at Bhagavad Gita and the Divine and Demoniac. You can look in different places, things that Krishna said he values in devotees. So this isn't an exhaustive list. It was just something to get us going. But how did it feel to look at values and write them on paper? We'll take 3 people giving 3 sentences. And somebody who hasn't spoken yet. Arya.
It felt calming.
Calming, that's nice. I like that. Yeah, okay. Let's hear from 2 more. Manya and Manhar. Go ahead, Manya.
It felt uplifting because I realized all of the values were positive and a way in which that we can grow. Um,
Yeah, it's like they're up for grabs, right? Like, why didn't I think of that before? And when you start, whenever I read Demoniac section of Bhagavad Gita, I hear the divine qualities, I think, wow, it's soothing, it's calming to hear them because you feel like, wow, that's something I could work on. Manhar, let's hear what it felt like for you.
Like for me, it felt like my mind was like drawn to one place, so it wasn't getting distracted by anything when I was like writing them down.
Yeah, maybe that's what others meant by being calming and feeling
Yeah.
uplifting and things like that. That's a nice description. It is very meditative. Okay, now we're going to do one more exercise, and we're going to come back to these in a future show. And here's the next list I want you to make. It's a separate list, and that's your priorities. Now, this is something we can work on over the next several weeks. We want to get a lot of this together before the new year. And so priorities. here's a way to describe it. What is most important to you in your life? Which things are most important to you? And you may have a long list, but for now, and you don't have to get it exactly that you want. Again, this is just to get a start. Put down 3 things that you think are most important to you in your life. Okay, I'll give you a minute and a half starting right now. Okay. Now, does anybody want to share one of your priorities? Or is that, if it's too personal, you don't have to, but if you came up with something, and again, this is not the be all and end all, we're going to adjust all these as we go along, but just if you wrote down something and you want to share, we'll take 3 people, 3 sentences each. Part, then Arav, then Arya.
So one of my priorities that I put down was that finishing my duty as a student, or like
Finishing what?
like doing my duty as a student. So like doing my schoolwork and that.
Schoolwork.
That's
Okay,
what-
good. That's an example of priority, prioritizing your studies. Okay, Arav, what's one?
Reading the scriptures is good priority. Reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Okay, very nice. And Arya?
One of mine was education.
And your education. Okay, sounds good. And so this is an example of writing down priorities. Now, just to give you a little fine tuning on it, you could even be more specific if you wanted, but it's nice categories. Say, I prioritize my studies, I prioritize my reading of Shastra, but then you might say, it might be even more specific, like Srimad Bhagavatam or all of Prabhupada's books or something like that. My studies in what, am I prioritizing? It's up to you. You can fine tune it a little bit more. And next time, we're going to go a little bit more into this priority list. But what your homework is, if you feel up for it, if you do find it uplifting and you feel this is calming and helps keep your mind in a progressive mode, try this for homework, and we can share together next time of expanding these 2 lists that you have. Now, I'll tell you my own personal experience in writing my priorities a while back. It made me think a lot about what's important to me in my life. And I ended up moving things around. As I put them down, I listed everything without trying to put it in order. And then later, when I was walking or talking, I'd think, oh, this one should go a little higher. And it's a lot of fun to try to put them in order. But for now, just try to list as many as you can. And if you feel like arranging them in a hierarchy, like this is the topmost thing, then next to that, under that is this, that. Do that for your priorities, and also put 10 values that you think are just 10, and then try to list priorities. I would say don't do more than 10 for now. Like try to come up a list with 10. That's something you can work on. You can also make it smaller as we go forward. And then that's when we come back next week. And again, it's not final yet. It's just an exercise for you to do. Okay? And then next time, I'm going to talk about two things, which is one, setting some goals, especially for coming into the new year, because that helps when we have our priorities and our values written down. Setting goals becomes really fun because they're really practical, very specific things you can talk about and make them time bound. And when you do it before the new year comes, it gives you this kind of expectancy for the new year that this is what I'm going to work on. So it's really good exercise. And then I'll also talk next week about how to organize a lot of this information that you're working on as your homework into the form of a constitution that you can finish at your leisure, where we can all do it together. And then it's a document that you can keep and refer to, and then also make amendments to as we go forward. Does anybody have any questions before I go? And I'm dropping off early. It's not over yet. You're going to go on and read and do other kinds of stuff, but I have to go to a program tonight. Yes, Arif?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I just had a question about goals like during the new year. So when we write down our goals for the new year, does it make our mind think that we'll work towards accomplishing that goal during the year, or is that just a standard to set before the year starts?
Yeah, you can write goals for the new year. That's because we're coming up on it pretty quickly. But next time I'll talk about goal setting, the way to frame the goals that you write. For instance, I recommend writing them in the present tense, as if it's already occurred, it's already in your life. And then I'll also talk about different time frames, which is a 1 year goal, a 5 year goal, a 30-day goal, 5-day goal, 1 day goal, 1 minute goals. They're different time frames. And it's a lot of fun to play with those because it can be very motivating. So I'll go into that in more detail. But yes, just as an example, this is one of my books I keep a lot of my information in. These are my goals for 2025. I have them all written in the back of my notebook. And it keeps me motivated because I know the end of the year is coming up and I have to finish these before 2025 is over. So yeah, it really helps. Okay, we have Keshav. You had a question, and that'll be the last one, and then I got to go.
Hey, Krishna Maharaj. So my question is that can this constitution just be like for like this 2026, because we might like change our values and priorities by 2027. So is this just going to be is it just kind of a tentative?
It's fairly fluid. You will find when you think about priorities and you think about values that you're going to have some of them that are going to stick around probably throughout your life. But absolutely, it can be adjusted any which way. It's a fluid document that you can work on. It's for you, and it's to just have a sense of which direction you're going, what's most important to you in your life, because most people never think about it. They just do what's in front of them, and there's always something more you have to do to finish before you really get time for yourself to think about what's most important to you in your life. So that's why it's a good thing. It's self-examination and being self-directing in your life. Well, if you'll excuse me, sorry for skipping out on you early, but I got to go to the next program, and I will see you guys next time. Work on this, because that way we'll have an interesting conversation. I'm going to work on it too. I'm going to pull out all my old documents that I wrote on, and I'm going to rethink them, and so I'll have something to discuss too. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Gaura, if you so desire, please bless everybody 1,000,000 times over who joined Youth Jam today. Everyone who forgot to join Youth Jam, those who slept through it, may they all be blessed by your mercy so they can always chant Hare Krishna and go back to Godhead. Om Tat Sat. See you soon, and thank you very much, Chaitanya Nitai Nam Prabhu.